2022 Republican gubernatorial nominee. She kicked Gretchen Whitmer's butt twice in the debates, which is why we wanted her to moderate tonight's Secretary of State debate. Tudor is also the host of the Tudor Dixon podcast. Please welcome her.
Amen.
We're putting new batteries in that mic, so give us a second.
I just say hello? Oh. I joked, I wrote that, the part about kicking Gretchen's butt. So I kind of cheated because they were like, do you have a bio? I'm like, this is my bio. And they read it. So that was cute. Thank you for that. But I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited about our candidates. I'm excited about this year. So let's go out and win.
Yeah.
Okay, without further ado, Lance for our introductions of our candidates for tonight's debate.
This is the toughest part of the race. I'm a French major. I have nothing to do with this.
Maybe put this here too. Sorry.
Welcome to the main event.
We are messing that up. I am so sorry. Help.
Just sing it, Peggy.
Yeah, just sing it, Peggy.
I said, do it, Jen. Please do it.
Her speaker went out when we got
She was that speaker that we used last night.
Is Renee Layton?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Orange guys. Tell you what.
We literally practiced like 10 times. And,
Try that.
Just give it up, my God.
I know, one more time.
We're going to try one more time.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Anthony Ferlini is the Macomb County Clerk, now in his second term. Prior to being elected in 2020 and taking office in January 2021, he served in the Michigan Legislature. And as the Harrison Township Supervisor, he owned and operated a business for 40 years, and he's proud husband for 40 years. Securing our elections is his top priority, and he's made great strides in Macomb County. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Ferlini. Monica Yatuma is running for Michigan Secretary of State because Michigan families deserve elections that are secure, transparent, and trusted. She spent her entire career managing high-stakes operations where accountability and chain of custody are not optional. They're the standard. She's here to restore confidence in our system by cleaning up the voter rolls, securing absentee ballots, and putting the people, not politics, back in control. She won't stop until Michigan voter knows their vote is protected, that their voice is heard, and their government is finally accountable again. Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Utuma. Amanda Love is running for Secretary of State to restore trust in our elections. As a committed mother of 5, she's passionate about ensuring that every vote counts and that the future generations grow up in a state with fair, secure, and transparent voting processes. Amanda brings a strong voice for election integrity, having earned endorsements from the local conservative Republican groups like Ottawa County GOP, Angie Claims, and campaigns all over the state. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Love. All right. Now we're going to draw cards. Where are those cards? We're going to draw for your position at the podium. Which podium? High card chooses first podium. You go ahead. Queen, Jack, King, right? So Monica, you get to choose which podium where you're going to be standing, and then the Queen will choose second place, and then Tony, unfortunately, you pulled a Jack.
Joker.
Last but definitely not least.
Save the best for last. Okay.
Can we get everyone to bring back a sign? We're going to put them on the podium.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, just one of their signs to put in front of the podium.
They don't have one.
We don't have to do this.
They don't have a sign?
We just this is
Hold on a minute. Michael, sit down. We know who these candidates are. We don't need anything in front of you. Put it down on the ground if you want to figure out who they are. Tudor, you can get started.
I'm afraid to turn on my mic.
Right.
All right, I'm actually going to stand further away. All right, now, candidate, well, this is really loud. Is it loud to you guys? I feel like I'm screaming.
It's not back there.
just turn down the gain
Not
or
back
something.
there.
It's not, okay. Sit over here. Hello. We're improvising. All right, candidates, you know that this is the introduction phase of the debate. You're all going to have 2 minutes to give your opening statement, and we're going to start with Tony Forlini.
Thank you, Tudor. Thank you for everybody. Lance.
Sorry, we are not sound people. It might be that I have to mute when
Testing 1, 2. Are we good now? Testing 1, 2.
I think it's that I have to mute if you talk.
Oh, okay.
I was going to step away.
Grab my
You're fine. There we go.
the table over my Go for it.
I'll stand this side.
Your timer's done. I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
Are we good?
No, we're moving this way.
Tutor.
It's a bit up front, I guess.
No, I'll be
Come
fine.
on over here and do it. Come on.
Testing 1, 2. We good?
Tutor, can you try to?
Hello, hello.
All right, let's.
There you go.
Well, my 2 minutes is up. started doing it again.
Gotta be in front. Gotta be in front, absolutely, yeah. Up here, no, just up here.
Me too.
And I used to do it too, just up front, no, up here. Okay, try it. Yeah. Try it, Scooter.
All right, how we doing?
Can we try something? You talk again. Can we try something?
No, you know what, actually, yeah.
I am correct.
Yeah, try it now.
Testing, 1, 2. We got it. Oh, yeah.
If I unmute, then it does. So I just have to mute while
Mine
you
needs to
talk.
go in front of
So just mute.
I think you have to mute your mic until you're ready to go.
Yeah. Once it's just me.
Check, 1, 2. Are we good? Oh, it looks. Well, what?
Wait. Tudor, would you come back?
All right, it's good now.
It's better now. Hey, that fixed it.
What do you expect for a free event? Seriously.
Turn the volume down before you got that in.
Brownies, I mean.
You know what we do in this case?
Are we on now? Are we good? Does it sound okay?
Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Oh, perfect. All right, let's do this.
All right.
2 minutes, go.
Here we go. All right. Well, Lance, congratulations. 10X works. Look at all the people you got there. Word of mouth got out. My name's Anthony Forlini. I'm the Macomb County Clerk. I'm the guy in the news lately that has been at war with Jocelyn Benson. This has been crazy. We are finding things on the voter rolls and on the jury rolls that is unbelievable what's going on right now. And there's more coming. But it didn't start here. This is just recent. Over the last 5 years that I've been in office, we've made changes to elections to make sure election integrity matters. And why doesn't Jocelyn Benson do it? You know why? Because she was never a clerk. She never ran elections. She doesn't know what is on the front lines. What did we change in Macomb? We're the first to shut off the tabulators. We're the first and maybe the only to have done a forensic audit. And what did that teach us? It showed us that we can do things better. We can do things without the modems. We did hash validations on our tabulators so that we can know exactly what is going on. I have won big elections in Macomb. I've been every election I've won, I've beaten a Democrat. We have to be focused in November. We have to be focused in November to win November, because if we don't, we're in trouble. We're in trouble with our state. The governor candidates are going to be in trouble. The state is going to be in trouble. So I'm here to win it in November. We need to get together. We need to be together as a county, as a state, and as a Republican Party. So let me just say this: we got some great candidates up here, some great governor candidates, and let's enjoy the day.
All right, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Forlini. Amanda Love.
Thank you very much. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. I am Amanda Love. I am a Christian and a mother to 5 wonderful kids. I am also a wife, and I'm running to be your next Secretary of State because I don't want my kids growing up in a place where illegal aliens' votes are counting and our elections are left insecure. So if we don't get our elections under control now, the next generation is destined to live under a one-party Democratic rule for the rest of their lives. So I'm happy to be the first and only candidate with a very substantive vision on how to clean up our election system. First, we are going to have an election integrity special investigations unit. And I would also like to announce that EIF is doing a major announcement next week that we're going to be reporting on. We want to clean up Michigan voter rolls. We need to stop talking about that and actually do it. And I am the first candidate to announce that I want to withdraw us from the Electronic Registration Information Center called ERIC on day 1. We came up with a plan to implement a pink driver's license program. So people who are here legally, that's fine. You could have a license to drive, but that does not mean that you can vote in our elections. So we're going to make it a different color. Another plan we have is if you can't speak English, you are not getting a license or a CDL in Michigan, period. We're going to establish a training program. We're going to establish a voter fraud tip line. So if you see something, say something, because we need to stop the fraud before it happens. But if it does, full forensic audits and real accountability and real jail time to election violators. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Love. Monica Yatuma, you have 2 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Monica Yatuma. Today I stand before you as a Secretary of State candidate. But first and foremost, I'm a wife, I'm a mother to 3 amazing kids, and I'm a devout Christian. I own and operate my own biohazardous medical waste company that I started about 15 years ago. And so I operate in an environment that's a very strict compliance environment because medical waste from the point of generation to disposal needs to be documented, logged, and tracked every step of the way. So I like to tell people to just replace the word medical waste with elections, our ballots, our voter records, because that same discipline and that same rigor is exactly how I would run our elections. Now, having run my own business for the last 15 years or so, I've noticed something, and that's that our elected officials are not held to the same standards that we are. Because if I had done just a fraction of the things that Jocelyn Benson has done to bend or break the law, today I would be sitting in jail, which is where she belongs. And so for me, that double standard is unacceptable. During COVID and during the extreme government overreach, I was the parent in Oakland County that filed the lawsuit to have the mask mandate dropped because I didn't appreciate my kids being in a mask. That lawsuit was successful and subsequently the rest of the counties followed. From there, I launched a Great Education Initiative to help parents across the state win local school board races. And even in a year during 22, when we had a blue sweep, we were successful in winning multiple races. I then launched Great Education Action, where I went out in a year, raised $1 million, hired door knockers, phone bankers, and did a lot of voter registration across the state to help bring Trump across the finish line and help Republicans win back the state house. I'm running for Secretary of State to restore integrity to our elections. First and foremost, we're going to clean up our voter rolls and take Michigan out of Eric. Number 2, we're going to ensure strict chain of custody on our absentee ballots, and we're going to make sure that every single person that goes to vote in our elections has to show ID and proof of citizenship every single time. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. And we're going to start the questions part of the debate now, but just for everybody quick reminder, please keep your voices down, please be quiet. Everybody here is here to hear the debate. They want to hear the answers, so let's be quiet, especially in the back. We're going to start. Can you hear me? Okay. We're going to start the questions now, and the first question is going to go to Monica Yatuma. We're restarting the timer. 1 moment.
90 seconds.
Oh, we have a backup timer? Okay. And just a reminder, you'll have 90 seconds to answer this. The first question is, Jocelyn Benson's new campaign finance software, Mitten, has been a major failure. What would you do to improve the system, and how would you pay for that?
So Jocelyn Benson used $9 million taxpayer dollars to revamp this software and create Mitten. And so the problem is that it doesn't work, it lacks a lot of transparency, and it's very difficult to use. So I would obviously rebuild that platform, and we'd make it more transparent, we'd make it easier for you and we'd make it easier for all of you to access Mitten so that you can see who's donating to different candidates and access campaign finance. To pay for that system, we probably could reallocate funds, because right now the budget in the Secretary of State's office, very bloated. It's ballooned to $296 million, and Jocelyn Benson has been tied up in more lawsuits than the last 4 Secretary of States combined. That's all using taxpayer money. So when I become your next Secretary of State, I won't need to be using so many attorneys, and I won't be involved in so many lawsuits, because I'm going to uphold and defend our laws and our Constitution. So the millions of dollars that she's wasting on lawsuits can be allocated to different things, and Mitten can be one of them.
Thank you. Anthony Forlini, same question.
So, hear me now? So, in Macomb County, we realized that there was not a system in place for the local officials. So we went out and we put together a program, and I think it cost us $20,000. $20,000 for the 3rd largest county in the state of Michigan. The millions of dollars that's been wasted at the state level to get a program together that didn't need to cost that kind of money is ridiculous. I'd like to know where all that money went, because it doesn't take that much. And by the way, you talk to anybody from Macomb County that does the campaign finance reports and does that in Macomb County, it is the best system in the state. And it only costs, I'm thinking $20,000, $30,000 was it. So I think good management is the key. You got to be able to negotiate good contracts, and before you go live, you got to make sure it works.
Amanda Love, same question. If you need it repeated, let me know.
No, I'm okay, because our campaign finance reports were due, I think, yesterday. And so this is fresh on my mind. I never thought that I would miss MERTS. I don't know if any of you have used that system, but no, I never thought I would say I'd miss that MERTS system, but somehow it was better than Mitten. It is terrible, but our budget is totally overbloated. We're gonna kind of doge the Secretary of State once I get in there, make sure that all of our revenue is going towards the roads, which it belongs, and not as much in the interdepartmental areas. So we will find funding to do that. I have a tech person that's already willing to do this type of thing, because I can't do that myself, but I surround myself with a great team. I always try to be the least intelligent person in the room, because I want the people around me to be strong, and he's very strong in this area, and we're going to get it fixed, and we're going to have a great campaign finance reporting system, and it's not going to cost taxpayers $1, because we can move things around very easily within the Secretary of State's budget. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next question goes to you again, Amanda Love. Recent reports have highlighted concerns about non-citizens appearing on voter rolls or jury pools in some counties. How would you address these vulnerabilities in the voter registration system that are tied to the driver's license applications and automatic voter registration?
Well, the answer is twofold, and I talked briefly about my pink driver's license plan, and that is partially because of this. So we're going to cross-reference with the Department of Homeland Security the voter rolls with social security numbers. If they're here illegally, they're out of here. If they're here legally, we are going to give them a license that shows they are not a citizen. We also need to completely get rid of this opt-out system. We need to opt in. So you can't just, on the jury pools, for example, you shouldn't just be able to say, I'm not a citizen, I am a citizen. We want to make it so that it's more verifiable. But if somebody is indicating that they're not a citizen on a jury pool, we need to communicate. And what's happening right now is the Secretary of State, in my opinion, is actively not communicating with the proper departments and the proper county officials in this case to get the voter rolls cleaned up. She does not want them cleaned up. It is more beneficial to have inflated rolls to the Democrats, which is also why we need to withdraw from Eric on day one, because they are sending not only our voter information to this multi-state compact third-party agency, they're sending all of our driver's license data there too. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that some of that data from our driver's licenses, from everything, is getting put on our voter rolls. It's a huge problem. So we do have a plan. We're the only campaign with a solid plan, and we are going to take action. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Monica?
Tudor, I'm just going to repeat the question if you don't mind.
Yes. Recent reports have highlighted concerns about non-citizens appearing on voter rolls or jury pools in some counties. How would you address these vulnerabilities in the voter registration system tied to driver's license applications and automatic voter registration?
Yeah, so to address the jury pool situation, and I will say Mr. Forlini is going to be the expert on this one, but there is a software, right, that's tied to this jury pool selection, and so software management is going to be really important, and making sure that software is constantly updated and cross-checked is going to be really important. And it's going to be the same for our voter rolls, right? So taking Michigan out of Eric is one thing, and that's great. But we need to aggressively audit the voter rolls and cross-check them with a federal database, which is what I've been saying since I've entered this race, right? I sat down, I had lunch with Ruth Johnson. I said, Ruth, what did you do? Because you did a great job cleaning the voter rolls. She said, Monica, I used Homeland Security, and we cross-checked with that federal database. And I said, great, we're going to do the same thing, but we're just going to get a little bit aggressive, and we'll audit these rules monthly, because then we'll get citizenship status, we'll get names, we'll get date of birth. The other thing too is it's really easy, folks. If you want to vote in our elections, you have to show ID and you have to show proof of citizenship. So right now, we have automatic registration through our driver's license database, through our DMV. So that's through the motor voter law. We can't stop that, but what we can do is put safeguards in place. If you go and apply for a driver's license, that's fine, but before you can be placed on our voter rolls, you have to show ID and you have to show proof of citizenship, and only then can you be placed on our voter rolls, and even then, we're still gonna cross-check the rolls and verify everything.
Thank you, Monica. Anthony?
You got a shot at this?
You got it.
All right.
Go for it.
So it was our office that blew this open. It's unbelievable. When we were looking at our jury pool, we were seeing non-citizens, and it was only because we were changing the software program over. And I said, wait a minute, why do we have so many people that are non-citizens in our jury pool? Because at the very beginning, when they register, there's a question, are you a U.S. citizen? But does it matter? It doesn't. They still put them through the jury pool. There is a chronic problem at the very beginning, and Jocelyn Benson and I have been at war with this over the last couple of weeks, particularly the last week, because she was saying I was being reckless and irresponsible by pointing these out. By pointing out the fact that there was somebody that voted, right, in the jury. There was a jury pool, we had citizens coming forward, 14 of them were actually in the QVF. Unbelievable. But she dismissed that because one was a U.S. citizen. Well, welcome to the United States. Very good. But there's the rest of them. How about the people that voted? There's 4 people that voted in the past. Oh, but they were taken off in 2022. But they voted in 2018. Are you kidding me? That is not a big deal. We have got to clean this up because, God forbid, we have a foreigner that votes in our election and also goes ahead and judges Americans in the jury pool.
Thank you, Mr. Forlini. The next question will be for you. What is the biggest non-election related issue in the Secretary of State's office that needs to be fixed?
Well, I think it's twofold. First off, the Great Seal. The Office of the Great Seal. I'm the Register of Deeds in Macomb County. We are seeing, and it was just on, click on Detroit, click on 4 the other day, where Wayne County's got hundreds of people that the fraud is unbelievable in the notary department. It's too easy to steal information. Nobody's notarizing the notary, is what's happening. And so notaries are causing a problem because that's part of the Great Seal. And we're losing deeds across the state to fraud. That needs to be changed. That, to me, is the thing undercover that nobody really knows about. The other thing is, you don't need an appointment to come to the Secretary of State's office. You don't need an appointment to come to the Macomb County Clerk's office. It used to be that way. We changed it. So we need to do, an appointment's fine, but we need to be able to streamline the systems like we did in Macomb County. We won 2 national awards for doing exactly that, operational efficiency and innovation. We innovated to the point where when people come into the Macomb County Clerk's office, we do between 30 to 60 CPLs a day, and that's just part of it. 4 minutes by the time you're served. After you're served, you're out the door in 10 minutes. That's how every Secretary of State's office is going to work under my administration.
Thank you, Anthony. Amanda Love.
And this was the biggest issue that's not elections related?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So absolutely, it's that we have these illegals or legal aliens, whichever one it is, both are unacceptable. We have people that can't read or can't speak English getting driver's licenses and CDLs in our state, and they're killing people. They're killing people on our roads. And the problem with that is because we are having an interpreter in every single branch office, okay? But also, we are allowing anybody off the street to come in and assist people who don't speak English on their written test And we're letting them go on their road test too. Well, guess what? They're not going to be there when they're driving truck across the state or even across the country to Canada. So we need to stop letting any interpreter that we're not vetting get through and come in and assist these people getting driver's license and CDL licenses.
Thank you, Amanda. Monica, same question.
So the first thing I'd like to address is the out-of-control vehicle registration fees. And so I'd like to work with the state legislature to address that issue. And instead of having to renew these fees annually or biannually, you only need to pay one registration fee per vehicle for the life of that vehicle, and you don't need to renew until you buy or lease another vehicle. It's that simple. The next thing I want to address is we're noticing, and statistics are showing us that less and less of our kids are driving at the age of 16, and there's a number of reasons. Car insurance is really expensive. Driver's training is really expensive. So something else I'd like to explore is bringing driver's training back to our schools and providing some sort of either a subsidy or a grant so that our families, our working class families across the state, can have their kids take these driver's training courses and not need to be impeded by not being able to afford the cost. So that way your kid can go out and be able to drive and be able to get a job. I think that's really important. And something Amanda touched on too that's really near and dear to me and very important is the CDLs. We've had a lot of issues on the roads and a lot of accidents, and it's really simple, folks. If you want a CDL license in this country, in this state of Michigan, you need to be able to read, write, or speak English, so that you can read our road signs when you are on the road. And the next thing that I think is going to be important is fixing the schedule, because right now it's appointment only, and we need to be able to walk in sometimes. So I'm going to work on bringing a hybrid schedule where you keep the appointments, but you can also walk in as well.
Thank you, Monica. Amanda, this next question is for you. There have been a string of accidents across the country with commercial vehicles driven by non-citizens, as we've obviously been talking about tonight. This has been resulting in the loss of American lives. Legally, as you noted, you are required to give these people a driver's license, but my question to you is, do you think that they should also have to go through the same driver's education that Michigan citizens have to go through with the 50-hour requirement of driving before they receive their license?
Absolutely, 100%. And I also want to put the caveat on that I didn't add, is that their driver's license needs to expire the same day that their visa expires. That's very important. I don't want to use my time for something else. Is that allowed or no? Because I kind of already touched on this quite a bit. Okay. So yeah, I just did want to touch a little bit on registration. That's something that's very important to me, and we have great plans to do that. We don't want to have people get penalized because their vehicle is older. So we are going to work with the legislature to get a great comprehensive common sense plan that your registration fee is based on your Kelly Blue Book value of your vehicle. That's it. Simple. Done. We're also going to work to get more options for registrations. So that means you can get no more birthday present of the sticker system. We're going to eliminate the sticker system altogether and do a permanent plate option. We're also going to have a 6-month option for seasonal vehicles, so that if you have a motorcycle or a Corvette that's, the top's off, we're not going to charge you for the 6 months that it's staying in your garage.
Thank you, Amanda. Monica, what type of driver's ed would you require, and would you add anything to the current requirement?
Is that the full question? Sorry.
The full question was about the people who are non-citizens and the American lives being lost. And legally, what type of driver's ed would you require? Would you require the same driver's ed that our Michigan citizens have to go through now?
Yeah, I require the same type of driver's ed that our citizens have to go through now. And to be honest with you, I might add to that they probably should take maybe 10 hours of extra training, and also add ESL courses to make sure that they can read, write, and be able to at least speak English to take, our driver's training. We want to make sure when they're taking the training that they understand the information that's been given to them, but also we want to make sure that they understand the testing when they take the test. And so that way, if they pass the test, then we know that they understand. And when they get on the road, they can read our road signs. And then obviously it's going to be much safer and we'll have less accidents. So, yeah.
Thank you, Monica. Anthony Forlini?
So testing. I guess I'm the only one that's ever had a CDL. I actually used to drive a truck. And it was right out of college. My dad had a construction company. And back then, you did it by experience. Not necessarily a good plan, I'll tell you that. But I believe that training needs to be almost lab-based because you do not, it's like driving a plane, it's like anything else. You need experience, you need labs to be able to go to school and learn how to drive and have an instructor with you so that when you're doing the right things, when you're doing the wrong things, they're going to call you out and let you know. The other thing I want to, so this is pretty obvious. If you're driving these big trucks, you need to really know what you're doing. Just like a plane, just like anything else. It is a lot of weight that you're carrying down the road, and that could be dangerous for anybody. So just know that, and I think that we all agree on that. The other thing, Amanda went ahead and kind of changed gears a little bit, and I'm looking at and that's okay. We look at the plates and what we're doing in our cars. And I don't know what you guys think, but I'm thinking it's so unfair that the registration fees are all over the place. I'm thinking one plate, one price. Make it even for everybody. And you know what? It doesn't have to be that expensive anymore. They just changed the state laws on how they collect gas tax, right? We got that money. Maybe we can bring their registration down because 16-year-olds aren't driving anymore. We got to get them back in the car.
Thank you, Anthony. Monica, this question is for you. Michigan's no reason absentee voting has increased turnout but raised questions about fraud prevention. Would you support requiring voter ID for all forms of voting? And if so, how would you implement it without disenfranchising eligible voters?
So yeah, I would absolutely support showing voter ID and take it a step further and say that they also need to show proof of citizenship. So the issue with absentee ballots is that they tend to be able to be the primary mechanism for fraud. But with certain safeguards in place, we can avoid that. And so, for example, during 2020, Jocelyn Benson sent out absentee ballots like they were candy. She sent them out to every single person, even if they weren't eligible to vote, and then they were sloppy about signature verification. So here's what I would do if I was Secretary of State. We would have a much stricter chain of custody on these absentee ballots, right? They would need to be sealed, logged, documented, and tracked at every single handoff, from the voter to the election worker to the postal worker to the counting board. I'd also make sure that we are ensuring signature verification on every single ballot in every single election, and we'll double check and we'll triple check that signature. And then there was a second part to the question. I apologize, sir.
How would you implement this without disenfranchising eligible voters?
Well, it's simple. When you register to vote, you have to show social security number or driver's license number, and then we'll cross-check that. If you're an eligible voter, you stay on the rolls, but if you're not an eligible voter, you won't stay on the rolls. That's it.
Thank you, Monica. Anthony?
So in the last few years, there's been so many changes to election law, and the unintended consequences is what? People are getting through the system. 2018 and 2022, the laws changed. And there was intended or unintended consequences to this. People are slipping through like they've never slipped through before. And to think that we shouldn't have to show an ID is ridiculous. Everyone in the state of Michigan can get an ID. Every person can get a driver's license if they can drive, right? So there's always some kind of an ID that you can show. But when you do that, we have kind of screwed up the laws, and you know what? When the Democrats put these proposals in, they slip these little items in there that says, you don't really have to show an ID. There's the citizenship thing is going to show up, and self-reporting. Self-reporting. I just showed you over the last couple of weeks, self-reporting doesn't work. We need to be able to prove who you are every time. That's why Congress needs to pass the SAVE Act. Amen. We need to pass the SAVE Act. That is so important. In Michigan, we need to change our laws with citizens-only voting. You guys got to get behind this. We need to really amp it up because this is our messaging, this is our time, and this is how we're going to drive out the voters come November.
Thank you, Anthony. Amanda Love.
So we need to get rid of what's called a provisional ballot here in the state of Michigan. So they are circumventing the law that you have to show your ID. They're letting you fill out a provisional ballot. Well, they're supposed to set that aside until after you could prove that you are in fact a citizen and that you are an eligible voter. Well, they're not waiting, they're just putting them in the machine. So we got to get rid of that immediately. And as far as disenfranchising voters, I don't believe that we should live in a country where I'm 40 years old and I have to show my ID to buy booze at Meijer, but it's disenfranchising to need to show who you are and that you're a citizen to vote. So I'm unapologetic about my platform. I was unapologetic about my anti-DEI platform when I won my school board race. If they want to call me a racist and do all that whole routine again, let them. I don't care. I'm not. But they're going to say what they're going to say anyway. So we need a Secretary of State that's going to take the action needed on day one.
Thank you, Amanda. This next question is for Anthony Forlini. How is it that a deceased person or somebody who moved to another state can be removed from the voter rolls and then reappear on the voter file later?
Yeah, well, we hear this happening all the time. As the county clerk of Macomb, we see this happen all the time. We have people that I just recently went through my database of those over the age of 100. And, you know, what, 850,000 people in Macomb, it's a big county. We had 600 people show up as over the age of 100. Could be, maybe not. Well, guess what? We went through every single name that was over the age of 100. Hundreds. Over 300 were no longer with us. The system is broke, and what I'm hearing through the grapevine, we're going to check back on these 300 with the state of Michigan, for some reason, and I haven't seen it with these 300 yet, but I've heard it from others, they reappear. I just talked to somebody on the way here. They says, I removed my mom, she died a year ago, and she's back on again. How is that happening? I can't answer it. It seems only right that it would be taken up. Listen, as Secretary of State, I am going to make sure that every single vote is looked at, every single ballot is looked at, every single person that is on the rolls is looked at, because your vote is getting watered down by these non-citizens and by dead people. Pastor Sewell from Detroit has his circuit court cases of homeless people that are voting and they never voted. This is a major problem we've got to look into, and I will.
Thank you. Amanda, same question.
So one word here is centralization. So what our current Secretary of State has done is she's wanted to get complete control of our qualified voter file. That's against the law. It's supposed to be local clerks, township clerks are in charge of cleaning up their own qualified voter file. And I cannot tell you how many stories I've heard of a local clerk doing that, and then yes, their name is reappeared. Can I prove that that's actually our Secretary of State putting that name back on? I don't know, but I can prove that it's a huge problem with the ERIC system, and I know I've said this many times, we need to withdraw from that day one, and we are going to, because they don't help at all. But ultimately, we just need to give local control back to where it belongs. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm researching on if I can actually get rid of the qualified voter file altogether and start over. It's so corrupt, it's so wrong, that we need a clean slate. And again, I'm not promising that, but I am looking into that and I'm pulling that, because it would require everybody to come in and register again in person. But I think it's worth it. I think it's a small price to pay to clean up that absolute mess that we call the qualified voter file.
Thank you. Monica, same question.
I'm with Amanda on that. We need to figure something out, but we certainly can't remove everybody and have them re-register just as a condition to re-register their registration. That violates the National Voter Registration Act. But there does need to be a workaround, and I do agree with her on that. But here's the issue. Our clerks have their hands tied by Jocelyn Benson. And so I built a clerk advisory committee coming into this race, and so I talked to them across the state. And so we know that they're removing not just deceased voters, but the duplicate voters as well, and any non-citizens that they're catching. But somehow, miraculously, these voters are being added back to the voter rolls. And we're noticing that's being done at the level of the Department of State, so through the Secretary of State's office. So number one, we need to decentralize. And what that means is that we need to give more power back, more power and control back to our clerks. So that when they need to clean up the voter roll and remove names from the voter roll, they don't have their hands tied by the Secretary of State. I think that's going to be the most important thing that we can do that'll aid us in cleaning up these voter rolls. And then of course, once doing that, running aggressive monthly audits and cross-checking to make sure when we remove these names stay off the rolls. And listen, if there's any bad actors adding these names back, then we'll investigate that, and then we'll hold them accountable, and where we can, we'll prosecute them.
Thank you. This is our last question before the rapid fire round. Monica, this question will go to you. Will you have the finances and ground game to win in November against a well-funded Democrat, and how will you get there?
So I didn't get to talk about this in the opening, but I did mention that I built from the ground up a C3, Great Education Initiative, and also a C4, Great Education Action. I did that to mirror the Turning Point model, to bring that here to Michigan, that entire operation. And so running the C4, I went out, and in about a year, I raised $1 million. And what we did with that money is we hired door knockers, we hired phone bankers, we did voter education across the state, and we did a ton of voter registration. We did this for a number of reasons. It was to help Republicans take back the state house, and it was to help Trump across the finish line. Now, I'm Middle Eastern, I'm Chaldean, we are a very Catholic conservative community.
Amen.
Unfortunately, our voter turnout is very low. So this was one of my projects during the 24 election, and I stationed people in churches all over Southeast Michigan, and we registered hundreds of voters. That voter turnout was 32%, and by the time we finished it and finished the 24 election, we were able to increase that voter turnout to 76%. I know how to do the work. I've done it before. I went out and I've raised the money. I raised $1 million in a year, which is not easy to do. I built a very powerful national donor network. And these national organizations are already committed to me and ready to go. On day one of the general election, I don't need to figure out what to do. I'm ready to go. The team of door knockers is ready to go. The team of phone bankers is ready to go. The team to register voters is ready to go. The operation's already in place.
Thank you. Amanda, same question.
The answer is yes, and I wouldn't have gotten into this race if I didn't know that I could secure the funding. I've run campaigns for over 20 years, and unfortunately, money talks. That's the world we live in. I don't like that, but that's where we are. But I can tell you that when I get in there, I'm going to look at overhauling the campaign finance system that we have here in Michigan, because we need to take the money out of politics. We need good, solid candidates, and not just yes man with an R next to their name. So nobody thought that when I got into this race I could raise money. Well, I can. I raised enough for the convention in the first quarter. I already have enough. I have enough pledges, which I have a very low amount that I will actually need to win the race because I'm so great at individual voter contact. But I do have the pledges necessary. So we are going to win. We are going to take this. I've never lost a race. I don't intend to lose now. Not when I'm on the ballot and the stakes are this high. So no, don't have to worry about funding. We got this. Of course, if you want to give me a donation, please do. But yes, I have proven my ability to raise money for myself. My opponent claims to have raised $1 million, and maybe she did, but it's not on her campaign finance report for herself, so I don't know.
Thank you. Tony, I'll go to you, and let me just clarify. This is not for the convention. This is against a well-funded Democrat, and I'll remind you that in the 2022 race, Jocelyn Benson, for just her campaign, raised about $3.7 million.
So this is a concern, really, that all Republicans should have, as well as myself. We need to raise money. We need to raise a lot of money. Now, this last quarter, I led the way in raising money for this convention race of the three of us. That's great, but it's still peanuts compared to what it's going to take. And it's not only going to take a large amount of money that we're all going to be responsible for raising. And we're going to get people behind us to support us, whoever it might be. But what we're looking for is the candidate that can win in November, and that money's going to follow that person that can win in November. I have proven in the past that I've won in November 3 different times. Not the easy way, the hard way. And I was outspent 2-1 in just about every one of those races. As a township supervisor, as a state representative, and as a county clerk. I won against incumbent Democrats. I only know one other person in the state that's done that. It's an unusual thing, but you need a good product to go up there and take on the Democrats in the fall. And I believe I'm that person that can take on the Democrats come fall and take it to them, because my experience that I have in the past is going to help us win in November.
Thank you. Now we are going to move on to the rapid fire section of the debate. This is one-word answers for the rapid fire section, and we're going to start with a bit of an icebreaker for all of you. So we're going to practice, starting with Amanda Love. Who is the country's most glamorous First Lady in history?
Oh, Barbara Bush.
Monica?
Melania Trump.
Yeah, I'm going with Melania. Absolutely, yeah.
That's right.
All right, Tony, I'll give this one. I'll start with you. Do you support expanding automatic voter registration in Michigan?
No.
Monica?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Monica, have you ever run a statewide chain of custody operation?
Yeah, I do it every day with my business.
One word.
Tony?
Yes.
Amanda?
No.
So some of these questions, I just want to say, were submitted, and I feel like the question is something, and I'm going to add something because we're on the west side, so I don't know who wrote this question, but they asked Detroit or Flint-style Coney dog, but I'm adding or Pronto Pup. Amanda Love.
Detroit.
Monica, remember where you are. I'm just
Pronto Pup.
National Coney Island.
All right. Have you personally administered or overseen large-scale elections, Tony?
Of course I have. 850,000 people.
Monica.
One more time the question.
Have you personally administered or overseen large-scale elections?
Does working them count?
We'll consider. Well, that can be your answer.
Well, yeah, 'cause
Amanda?
okay.
Yes.
Would you push for more funding to expand early in-person voting locations statewide, Amanda?
No.
Tony?
Yes. Yes.
Monica?
No.
I don't know if this is like sacrilegious because we've got an Italian up there, but pineapple on your pizza, yes or no? Pineapple on your pizza?
Never.
Monica?
I'm going to say yes.
Amanda?
Sometimes.
All right.
Sacrilegious.
Monica, would you implement policies to make it easier for overseas and military voters to participate?
No.
Amanda?
I don't like how this is worded, but no.
I didn't write this question. Tony?
It's already easy, so I would keep it easy.
Okay. Do you believe we should have party registration and closed primaries? Amanda?
Yes.
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 Do you believe the Secretary of State should actively combat misinformation about election processes on social media? Tony?
Wait, say that one more time?
Do you believe the Secretary of State should actively combat misinformation about election processes on social media?
No, First Amendment, no.
Yes, without government censorship.
Amanda?
No.
Have you been involved in litigation related to election laws or voting rights? Monica?
Yes.
No.
Amanda?
No.
How many gender options will you have for Michigan driver's licenses? Amanda.
Endless.
Oh, 2. I'm sorry, 2.
Monica.
14. Just kidding, 2. Just kidding.
You guys have me worried too.
Would you prioritize digitizing more Secretary of State services like driver's licenses and vehicle registration to reduce in-person visits, Tony?
Not driver's license, everything else, yes.
I would say yes.
Maybe.
Do you support mandatory post-election audits of voting machines, Amanda?
Yes.
Yes.
We do it now, yes.
Have you ever worked in the executive branch of government, Monica?
Nope.
Tony?
In the executive?
In the executive branch?
No.
Amanda?
Don't think so. No.
Do you support paper-based voting systems for all elections, Monica?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it appropriate for partisan groups to fund election administration activities such as Zuckerbucks?
No.
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 Should citizens have committed a felony? Should citizens who have committed a felony be allowed to vote while incarcerated, Monica?
No.
Amanda?
No.
No.
Should the upcoming state convention votes be hand counted or tabulator counted? Amanda?
Both.
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 Is the Secretary of State primarily a ministerial role or a policy-making role? Monica?
It's both, but more ministerial, I would say.
Tony?
Ministerial.
Ministerial.
The nominating convention is Saturday night, March 28th. Will you commit to supporting the nominated candidate if you are not the nominated candidate starting Monday, March 30th? Amanda?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is probably the most important question of the night. Next year, will it be the Lions' year? Yes or definitely yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. That it concludes the debate portion of the night. I will bring Lance back up. Thank you. Thank you all for doing this.